you tried meditating for weeks, months, maybe even years, and still feel like your mind is a relentless hurricane of thoughts? I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. I'd sit there, trying to focus on my breath. 5 minutes felt like 5 hours. My mind racing in 1,000 directions, and I'd end up more frustrated than when I started. Today, I'm going to share something Eckhart Tolle revealed in a near-secret interview. A technique he calls the fastest gateway to the present moment. Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes that can do more for your peace of mind than months of traditional meditation practices. And by the end of this, you'll understand why what we call meditation might actually be keeping you from true presence. But first, I need to tell you about the day everything changed for me. Ordinary Tuesday. I was stuck in rush hour traffic, stressed, thinking about a million problems. Suddenly, I remembered something Tolle said, something so simple it seemed impossible. I did exactly what he taught. 2 minutes, right there, in my stopped car. What happened next surprised me so much. I thought I was imagining things. Tension in my shoulders simply vanished, like someone flipped a switch I didn't even know existed. But the most impressive thing wasn't that. It was what happened in the following hours. My mind was different, clear, like someone had wiped clean a fogged-up window, years in the making. You might be thinking, another miracle technique promising the world. I would have thought the same, but there's a crucial difference here. Eckhart Tolle didn't invent this technique. He simply rediscovered something ancient masters knew for millennia, but was lost amidst complex rituals and endless practices. Truth is, your mind already knows how to find peace. It just forgot the way. This path is only 2 minutes away. Now, before I reveal exactly what to do, I need to bust a lie you probably believe about meditation. The lie is this, that you need to stop your thoughts to find peace. That's like trying to stop the wind with your hands. Impossible and frustrating. Tolle discovered something revolutionary. You don't need to stop your thoughts. You just need to shift your relationship to them. Imagine your thoughts are cars driving on a highway. Traditional meditation tries to teach you to stop the cars. This technique teaches you to get off the highway. Seems too simple to work. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 42-year-old executive who came to me desperate. She tried every type of meditation, apps, courses, and spiritual retreats. Nothing worked. Her mind was like a computer with 50 tabs open at the same time. I can sit still for 5 minutes, she told me, but my head never stops. It's like a radio blasting at full volume inside. She describes sleepless nights, planning meetings that hadn't even been scheduled, weekends ruined by worrying about Monday, a constant anxiety that she was forgetting something important. I taught her this 2-minute technique. On the first day, she called me frustrated. I only managed 40 seconds before remembering an email I needed to answer. On the third day, she managed 1.5 minutes. But I still feel like I'm wasting time, she confessed. On the 7th day, something shifted. She managed the full 2 minutes. And for the first time in years, when she finished, there was no urgency waiting for her. 3 weeks later, she called me crying. Not from sadness, from relief. For the first time in years, she said, I was able to feel who I truly am beneath all this mental rushing. It's like I rediscovered a version of myself I thought I'd lost forever. The most striking thing happened at work. Her colleagues started commenting that she seemed different, calmer, but also more efficient, as if she'd found an inner rhythm that made everything flow more smoothly. The most incredible part? She was doing this at the office, between meetings, in the supermarket line, traffic. 2 minutes that fit into any life, no matter how busy. But here's the secret few understand about this technique. It doesn't work despite your busy life. It works because of your busy life. The more chaotic the external environment, the more powerful the contrast when you find inner silence. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. The light seems much brighter. Now you must be wondering, what exactly is this technique? I'll reveal it in a moment, but first, I need to prepare you for something that might shock you. This technique is so simple, your mind will try to complicate it. It's the nature of the ego to resist what's simple, because the ego only feels important when things are complex and difficult. But when I show you what to do, your first reaction might be, "That's it?" Yes, that's it. And that resistance is exactly the sign that you're on the right track. Tolle often says something profound. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication of consciousness. Your mind has complicated everything over the years. This technique will teach you to simplify. Before we get into the step-by-step, let me tell you why 2 minutes is the perfect time. It's not enough time for your mind to create expectations. It's not enough time for you to get impatient, but it is enough time to create an opening. Crack in the wall of thoughts your mind is built around your true nature. And through this crack, something extraordinary happens. Remember who you are when you're not thinking. Stop for a moment and consider this. Who are you when you're not thinking? Most people have never asked this question because they spend their entire lives identified with their thoughts. But you are not your thoughts, just as you are not the clouds passing through the sky. You are the sky, vast, silent, unchanging. And you can touch this truth in such a direct way that you'll question why it took so long to find it. Now here's what you're gonna do. First, choose a moment when you're doing something routine, doing the dishes, showering, or taking a walk. You don't need to sit in lotus position. You don't need special music. You don't need a perfect environment. In fact, the more ordinary the environment, the better. During these 2 minutes, you're going to do only one thing that will seem absurdly simple. You're going to pay attention to the sensation of being alive. Not your thoughts about being alive, not your emotions about being alive, but the pure, simple sensation of existing in this moment, as if you were an animal, just waking from a deep sleep, completely present, without any story about who you are or what you should be doing. Feel the energy coursing through your body. It's like a subtle electric current you've never noticed before. It's in your hands, in your arms, in your chest. Feel the weight of your feet on the ground. Not just the physical contact, but deep connection with the earth that supports you. Like you're a tree recognizing its roots for the first time. Feel the air touching your skin, temperature, the humidity, the invisible texture of the air. It's always been there, waiting for your attention. Here's the detail that Tolle emphasizes. You're not doing this to relax. You're doing this to awaken, to remember that you are an energetic being living a physical experience, not just a mind trapped in a body. When a thought arises, and it will, you simply note, "Ah, a thought," as if you were a scientist observing an interesting phenomenon, curious but uninvolved, and then return to the sensation of being alive. 2 minutes, that's all. But here's where the magic happens. In these 2 minutes, something in you relaxes so deeply that you didn't even know you were tense. It's as if you've been holding your breath for years. Finally exhale. This relaxation isn't just mental, it's cellular. It's as if every cell in your body remembers what it's like to live without urgency, without fear, without the constant need to be somewhere else. Tolle calls this cellular awakening. The moment when your body remembers it's part of something much bigger and much wiser than your agitated mind. It happens neurologically. Fascinating. You shift from thought mode to sensation mode, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. It's like switching from fight or flight to rest and digest. It goes beyond that. Tolle discovered that when you sensation of being alive, actually accessing what he calls the energy body, mention of your existence that is always at peace, always present, always connected. Scientists today talk about the heart's electromagnetic field, which is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. When you feel the energy in your body, you might be tuning in to this deeper intelligence. This intelligence doesn't operate through thoughts. It operates through pure presence. But there's a crucial detail that most people miss. This technique isn't about feeling good, although you probably will feel good. It's about awakening to what you truly are. And sometimes, what you truly are doesn't fit your expectations of enlightenment. Sometimes, what you find is simply humanity, raw, real, unfiltered. And that can be more liberating than any mystical state, because you finally stop trying to be someone special and discover the beauty of simply being you. Now, let me tell you about what happened to Emily. Emily was a teacher. She lived exhausted, rushing from one class to another, always late, always worried. When she started using this technique, something unexpected happened. She stopped trying to do everything perfectly, not because she became careless, but because she discovered that the perfection she sought wasn't external, it was internal. Perfection of being completely present in each moment, regardless of what was happening. When you're completely present, things flow in an almost magical way. Her students started paying more attention, not because she changed her teaching methods, but because she was really there. Presence is contagious. You're truly present. The people around you feel it. They relax. They open up. They remember what it's like to be alive without urgency. This is what 2 minutes of pure presence can do. Not just for your life, but for the lives of everyone who crosses your path. You might be thinking, how can 2 minutes have such a lasting impact? The answer lies in the nature of consciousness. Consciousness isn't something you do, it's something you are. You touch, even briefly, your true nature, it leaves a mark. Tasting water after days in the desert. The taste lingers. The memory remains. And your body, your mind, your entire being begins to crave more of these moments. Not in an addictive way. Like a plant craves sunlight. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to access this state. Until one day, you realize you no longer need to do the technique. Simply our presence. In any moment, in any place. Wait, I know your mind is already creating obstacles. What if I can't stop thinking in those 2 minutes? If I get distracted? What if nothing happens? Your perspective on these concerns. The goal isn't to have a perfect experience. The goal is to realize that you are bigger than any experience. Even if the 2 minutes are chaotic, filled with thoughts, interrupted 1,000 times, something profound still happened. You created space, a break in the constant rush of the mind. And this interval, however small, is like a seed. Seed doesn't look like much when you plant it, but inside is the whole tree. Now, let me show you exactly how to maximize these 2 minutes. First secret, choose transitional moments between one activity and another. Or picking up your phone, after closing your laptop, before entering your home. These moments are already naturally meditative. You just need to recognize them. Second secret, use physical anchors. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your hands touching a surface. Feel the air entering and leaving your nostrils. Not to control, just to remember where you are. Third secret, treat thoughts like background noise. You don't fight against the sound of cars on the street. You simply don't pay attention to them. Do the same with thoughts. But here's the most important secret of all. What Tolle never explicitly states, but which is implicit in all his teachings. This technique isn't about you becoming a better person. It's about you discovering that you are all. Your mind spends its entire life trying to convince you that you are incomplete, that something is missing, that you need to achieve, improve, evolve to finally be happy. These 2 minutes shatter that illusion, gently but definitively. Because when you're truly present, there's nothing to improve. There's nowhere to go. There's no person to become. There's only this moment, this breath, this feeling of being. And that's enough. More than enough. It's perfection. Let me tell you about Peter. Peter was a businessman living with imposter syndrome. No matter how much he achieved, he always felt he didn't deserve his success. Important meetings sent him into a panic. Not because of the content, but because of the fear that people would discover he didn't know anything. He'd wake up at 3 in the morning, mentally rehearsing presentations, searching for flaws that could expose him. It's like I'm an actor who forgot they were acting, he told me. And any minute now, the audience will discover I don't know my lines. This feeling had been with him for decades, since childhood. Felt like he was always pretending to be more competent than he really was. Started practicing these 2 minutes daily. Something amazing happened. First few weeks, his anxiety even increased. Of silence, all his fears surfaced with more intensity. But after the first month, he started noticing something different. Important meetings, there were moments when he simply was there, without trying to prove anything, without trying to be anyone other than who he was in that moment. During a presentation middle of the presentation, I had one of those moments of presence, and suddenly I realized I don't need to convince anyone that I deserve to be here. I am here. That's a fact, not an opinion. Stop trying to prove he deserved to be where he was. Not because he became arrogant, he told me, because he discovered that the question of deserving was irrelevant. He's there, and being there, completely present, was the only credential he needed for any situation. 6 months later, his partners commented on the change. Peter became more confident, they said, but it wasn't exactly confidence. It was an absence of doubt. As if he had stopped questioning his right to exist. This is the silent revolution that these 2 minutes create. Stop living from the fear of not being enough, and start living from the certainty that you are. I need to warn you about something that's going to happen. In the first few days, you may feel resistance. Your mind will invent 1,000 excuses to skip the 2 minutes. I don't have time today. I'm too stressed for this. I'll do it later. This resistance isn't accidental. It's the ego trying to maintain control, as the ego knows that 2 minutes of pure presence are more dangerous to it than years of therapy. Therapy, it can still participate in the conversation. In presence, it simply disappears. So when resistance appears, and it will appear, smile inwardly. It's a sign that you're on the right track, and do the 2 minutes anyway, especially when you don't want to. Now, let me share with you the 3 phases you'll likely experience. Phase 1, discovery. In the first few days, you'll be surprised by how busy your mind is. It can be daunting to realize how many thoughts appear in 2 minutes. Don't worry, You didn't create these thoughts. They've always been there. You're just noticing them for the first time. It's like turning on the light in a messy room. The mess was already there. Now you can see it. Phase 2, resistance. After a few days, it may seem like the technique has stopped working. Thoughts may seem even more intense. This is normal. It's like exercising. In the beginning, you feel the muscles you've never used before. Presence muscles are getting stronger. Pain is temporary. Strength is permanent. Phase 3, integration. After a few weeks, something subtle but profound happens. You no longer need to remember to be present. Presence begins to remember you. Small moments of clarity appear spontaneously throughout the day, if consciousness had created its own openings, and these moments become more lasting, more natural. Till one day, you realize you're not practicing presence anymore. You are presence. But here's something that few people tell you about this path. It's not always bliss and peace. Sometimes, being present means feeling things you've avoided for years. Unprocessed sadness, hidden fears, repressed anger. Presence doesn't protect you from these feelings. It teaches you to feel them completely, without being destroyed by them. It's like learning to swim. At first, you fight against the water. Then, you learn to float. The feelings continue to come in waves, but you don't sink anymore. Let me tell you about Anna. Anna lost her husband 2 years ago. She tried everything to avoid feeling the pain. Excessive work, empty relationships, compulsive shopping. Nothing worked. The pain always came back. When she started this practice, something unexpected happened. For the first time, she allowed the pain to be there, without trying to change it, without trying to escape it. And she discovered something revolutionary. The pain wasn't the problem. The resistance to pain was the problem. When she stopped fighting against sadness, sadness transformed into something different. It didn't disappear, but it became sacred, as if the pain was the way love found to continue existing after the loss. This is the true healing that these 2 minutes offer. It's not the absence of difficulties. It's the presence of something bigger than any difficulty. Now, maybe you're wondering, how can I know if I'm doing it right? The answer is simple. If you're asking, you're doing it right. The search for the perfect technique is just another trick of the mind to keep you busy. Presence isn't a technique. It's your essential nature. You can't do presence wrong, just as you can't breathe wrong. But let me give you some signs that the practice is working. First sign, you begin to notice small, natural pauses throughout the day. Between one breath and another, between one thought and another, between one word and another in a conversation. These pauses have always been there. Now you recognize them as portals to the present. Second sign, situations that once irritated you now affect you less. Not because you've become insensitive, but because you've discovered a space within you that is larger than any irritation. Third sign, you begin to appreciate simple moments. The taste of the first cup of coffee, the sound of rain on the window, the smile of a child on the street. It's not because these moments changed, but because you are present to receive them. Here's the deepest sign of all. You stop searching for extraordinary spiritual experiences because you discover that every ordinary moment, when lived with full presence, is extraordinary. Washing dishes becomes meditation. Sitting in rush hour traffic becomes contemplation. Talking with a friend becomes communion. The sacred isn't in special places. It's in the quality of attention you bring to wherever you are. Now, I want to share something with you that changed my life forever. Years ago, I was going through a very difficult time. Financial problems, a relationship ending, my health suffering. One night, sitting on the floor of my empty apartment, I did these 2 minutes with an intensity I'd never experienced before. Not because I was trying to escape the problems, but because I had nowhere else to run. And there, in that moment of total surrender, something happened. The problems didn't disappear, but I realized there was something within me that was indestructible. Something that was there before the problems existed and would be there after they passed. It wasn't a mystical experience. It was the most obvious and natural recognition in the world. I am. Simply I am. This I am doesn't depend on external circumstances to exist. This discovery didn't solve my external problems, but it solved the real problem. The belief that I needed perfect circumstances to be happy. From that day on, my life changed. Not because the challenges stopped coming, but because I had found something within me that was greater than any challenge. And this something isn't exclusive to me. It's yours too. It's been waiting for you for years, maybe decades. 2 minutes away. Now, before you begin this journey, I want you to understand something. This isn't just another item on your self-help list. This is a homecoming to the place inside you that has never been touched by any wound, that has never been diminished by any failure, that has never been threatened by any fear. It's the place that existed when you were a child and could lose yourself in play for hours. Time didn't exist, and each moment was complete in itself. It's the place that appears in unexpected moments, when you're watching a sunset and suddenly everything makes sense without explanation. When you're listening to music and for a few seconds, you simply are the music. This place has always been there, silent, patient, waiting. Even when you were most lost, most desperate, most confused, it was there like a light burning in an empty house, waiting for you to return. You simply forgot the address. You got distracted by the noise of the road and lost sight of the way home. These 2 minutes are the GPS that takes you back. And when you arrive, you'll wonder how you could have been lost for so long in such a familiar place. You'll laugh at yourself, like when you look for your glasses that are on your head or the keys that are in your hand. Because presence isn't something you achieve. It's something you recognize, like recognizing your own face in the mirror after years of not looking, like recognizing the sound of your own breath after decades of paying attention only to external noises, like recognizing your own essence beneath all the layers of conditioning, expectations, and fears you've accumulated throughout your life. So, when you do these 2 minutes today, tomorrow, or whenever you're ready, remember, you're not learning something new. You're remembering something old. Older than your problems. Older than your worries. Older than any story you tell about yourself. Not becoming enlightened. Recognizing that the light has always been on. Just maybe, these 2 minutes are the moment you finally stop searching for yourself in other places, because you've always been here, now, in this moment, complete, perfect, waiting only for you to pay attention, waiting only for you to come home.